Rated PG-13. This is G.I. Joe, and we're looking at Airwave, Drop Zone, and if I already screwed it up, that's because I'm thinking real hard here. And Skydive, that's right. So hopefully we didn't screw that up. Airwave, Drop Zone, and Skydive. Now these three figures all had Cobra. That's right. They were all Cobra figures. We had the Motor Viper, which I don't know why they didn't do in a black and red. You know, we got no other versions of him. A very famous character in the cartoon, you know, drove the Cobra stun. But nope, we got Sky Patrol dead. The same with this Cobra figure. You know, we got a Strato Viper instead of this guy. So we got this guy. I mean, instead of the Strato Viper. I mean, you could technically make a Strato Viper, I guess, and put a head on that. So it might work out there. Same with this guy. We got a Gyro Viper. So he had the Gyro Viper's body. You know, it would have been great if they would have made us a Cobra like this, you know. He becomes Cobra. Like, all you need is the... Let's see if the helmet actually fits. Never tried that yet. The helmet's too loose on him. Okay then. But you could probably take his head, switch the body, and you got a Cobra in blue. So you'd have a an officer. Gyro Viper officer. Strato Viper, you can make a Strato Viper officer. But I think they'd be all officers if they're flying. Technically. Now, another thing I wanted to touch upon was Shortfuse. You know, all of these mortars, my favorite ones were the A-Team ones. The A-Team and the original ones, because the handles, I don't know how well this is going to come in, but you can see the new Hasbro one is a really thick. I don't know how well that's going to come in here. But one of the 2-packs is way thicker. This one's nice and thin, so it fits on the vintage. This vintage one is also, one that comes with them is really thin. Pretty much like the same mold. And then the weapons pack one was a little bit thicker. So, not the greatest. But there you go. Just one thing you should be aware of when you're looking at Shortfuse's mortars. They can go off at any time. Now, yes, you noticed in the background, we've got the Baroness. And, well, I do like the Baroness. And I also do like the Python Patrol Televiper. But I would like them in the red colors. The yellow just didn't do it for me. Now, what was I going to say about that? We're going to go to 1984 for the Baroness. That's right. And we're going to have a look, because the Baroness has three decent molds of her like that, with the same mold. Let's get this out of the way here. We got the red version. Oh no, there goes the dominoes again. Son of a Seabiscuit. Alright, let's just get this in here really quickly. So the black version is the best version of her. That's the 84 version. And we have a blue version, which is really good too. The blue version is the 1997 version. I don't know how well that's going to come in. But she's pretty damn good. Now the one that came out later on with the Transformer crossovers was that 2022 or something. 2021 maybe. It really sucked because they screwed up the eyes. But that version is great. So that's 4. There's like 6 in total because there is some comic pack ones. But the head really sucked. It's like a shrunken head. And they might have renamed her as well. So I don't have that on hand to look at. But By far the best sculpt of the Baroness was the original. And maybe the blue. I like the one in the blue. I think the cartoon even, she was actually blue. So, that's probably the better one to have. Now, as we come over here, we see, oh, there is, you guessed it, 1983 Covergirl. We're just going to tone down that light a bit. And then we got a Super 7 Covergirl laying around in the line. So I thought, oh, what better time to look at that than now. Now, Covergirl did drive the Wolverine. Wolverine, was that a tank or considered a missile launcher? Because they sometimes would label it maybe tank. So we'd have to go into that to see. But is she considered a tank driver? She was a mechanic, I believe. And we didn't get any other versions of her but a 2006. I'm not sure if we can consider that. So I'm not sure if that's O-ring or not. Anybody can confirm that? I can't. I don't have that one. And you know, like, oh yes, we're looking at a few tank drivers here. Because, you know, I should do a whole video on all the different tank drivers there was for G.I. Joe. That might have been cool. But Heavy Duty's 1991. And Steeler is one of the great first tank drivers. And Heavy Duty is one of the first African American tank drivers in 1991. Yeah, Hasbro waited that long to give an African American guy a vehicle. I believe he might be the only one. You know, like, I never understood why Doc never got a vehicle. But no. Anyways, for Steeler, I don't have the straight arm version yet. But I do have the swivel, 1983. So 1982, 1983. In 1984, they've got, I think, the comic one. I don't know how good that one is. It looks like he's got one of them shrunken heads again. And then 2007 looks like a Duke. I can't count that one. It looks like a Duke or a Hawk that they had. So, I don't know what was going on with Hasbro. But, you know, Steeler could have used some more different versions. Now, Slugger, we got to go all the way to 1997 because this is where it's interesting. Is it 97 or was it? No, it was 98. 98. So all the way to 1998, and oh, we're gonna bring them up. So we got Thunderwing. That's right, they renamed him Thunderwing instead of Slugger, which is really stupid. Tank Commander Thunderwing. But did they change Heavy Duty's name in that year? Because that's Heavy Duty's second version of the O-ring. I can't count 93 because that just 5 POA one. So this Heavy Duty is orange. He's got some camouflage pants. He looks great, but I didn't get him with the tank that I ordered. Kind of sucked. I really wanted both of those figures. And I believe they both might have came with the same. Oh yeah. No, I think they came with the same tank in that year. So if you can get them, it would be great to get. Now, oh yes, Heavy Metal, another tank driver we talked about before. He only has a mail away version that's a lighter green. I don't know why this is not coming in as good. So then we got the Confederate cross country, and as you can see, I made him into a racist biker. And then the second version, was that also a 90s version? We have to go all the way back to 86. And I use his other parts for other figures that I made just because it actually works well. But Cross Country was an 86 figure. He drove the Havoc. Yeah, he only had one other version. Now, you know what they should have done is make another version, but do him in the Union colors. I mean, he's gonna be a racist all his life. You You know, get it right, Ron Rudat. That's the only figure you got wrong. Twice. You doubled down on dumb twice. Did you not realize? But I guess that was a different time. Now, toll booth, you gotta pay the toll. And his toll was only 1. You know, they could have remade him again. You know, make him with a removable helmet. Make him have a, what do you call that? A biosuit. You know, like the Desert Storm had. Those cool hoods and stuff. That would have been great for toll booth. But toll booth came with the bridge layer. And, oh, we skipped over all the names of the other tanks. Steeler came with the Mobat. And then we had the Mauler, was heavy metal. And heavy metal you could get mailed away as well. And it is just a lighter green version. If we haven't got Slugger, Slugger had the Thunder. Get some light there. And I love that figure. I actually played with that vehicle until the wheel fell off, and I still kept playing with it because it was a cool vehicle. Now, what I'd really like to see is Hasbro doing some 2-packs of these Vipers, but like I said, with that other cool color. And does anybody know what line this came from? It just looks great. If G.I. Joe could make some of these, that would be awesome. Or any other line. You know, have this just little missile launcher. I believe Delta 17 made some cool little missile launchers. That's right. With their Delta Troopers. Now this guy here, his gun is notorious for snapping off fingers. And I just thought I'd show you this because someone actually bit the hand to make it tight. Those were the days. And why I'm talking about this guy here is because he's got the crap painted face, you know, like Super 7's notorious for. You know, you paint the flesh tone, it just sucks. Who else had a painted flesh tone? Slipstream. Oh. Yeah, Slipstream also had a double, and that was also in the Sky Patrol. But we're not talking about him today. I didn't bring up this guy yet. Super Trooper. Super Trooper. Where's your other buddy? Well, I guess I could. Got his other buddy close by here. Super Trooper was also a cool figure, but I turned his other buddy into a sailor. He went sailor on me. So, whoa! Gonna fall. We can bring him up here. You know, it looks like he has the slice and dice. So, does he have dice legs? Does dice have his legs? Should we grab a dice off the shelf just to see? Oh no! Darn it! Well, we're gonna grab one off the shelf anyways. And we've also got the dominoes. He just didn't want to be. Oh, look at these pads. Shiz. Okay, let's see. Oh, we lost a few good ones here. Baroness is still intact. Baroness survived. Oh no, these knee pads are way bigger. Oh, alright. Well, that guy's out. Right, we're almost out of time here. But anyway, Super Trooper. He was a mail-away figure. Came with a shield. Oh no, his gun. Look. Oh. Heavy armored toys. Those weapons seem to be a little bit not as great. Oh, did we lose his body armor? I believe his body armor came off of that. Now, if I can remember, was he mail away in 87? Nope, 88. We're running out of time here. The clock is counting down. 88 it is. Alright, so he was a mail away in 88. And, oh, his other figure is 1990 though. And it's not on here. And I'm just forgetting the name. So maybe we'll talk about him in the next video, because we're out of time. Anyways, thanks for watching. And look, that looks pretty good without his armor on. Anyways, like, subscribe, share the videos with others. And let me know, out of all these, which was your favorite? Cobra!